There's been a development. Last week I told you how Denmark collects data on where its convicted criminals were born, and it publishes them. Generally not done here because it's too racist. In Denmark, the results look like this for the rate of convictions for violent crime. Red is for people from countries in the Middle East and North Africa, Muslim ones. From the top, it's Kuwait, Tunisia, Lebanon, Somalia, Jordan, Morocco, not far behind. The rate for people born in Denmark is in black, 2/3 down the list, and below the Danes are people mainly from other European countries. They're in the dark blue. Since I discussed that last week with Patrick Christys, Conservative politicians in Britain said the same should be done there. Politicians here have not said that. And I suspect the British results would not be that different, given claims now in Britain that Muslim gangs are dominating a number of jails. Here's a former British government advisor, followed by a former prison governor.
Islamist gangs, if you want to put it like that, Muslim majority gangs, where evidence was given to me in my review, where Qurans were put on the bed of incoming inmates with the very clear indication, convert or get hurt.
In a sort of like an inner city jail, like in London or Birmingham, yes, that it would be prevalent, that it probably is the majority are Muslim gangs, and that's just natural.
They were being interviewed by Patrick Christys on his GB News show, and Patrick joins me from London now. Patrick, thanks for your time. How big a problem is this?
Well, it's absolutely massive, and the problem is twofold. What we have is domestic, homegrown jihadi terrorism that is running rife within our prison system and within wider society. Convert or get hurt is something that you said there. Also, as well, they have a problem with prison guards and police forces, so both inside and outside of prison, being too afraid of being called racist to actually deal with what is going on both in prison cells and in mosques across the country. There is also a massive problem when it comes to believing people when they say they've been de-radicalised. We've been burnt by this before in the case of Usman Khan, a terrorist who actually was on release and then went on to kill 2 of his caseworkers in a terrorist attack. So that is a massive problem. But the other problem is just foreign-born criminals living in the UK that we prosecute but can't deport. And there was a rogues gallery that I published on my show last night, Andrew. One Albanian man who was, unfortunately, for your more sensitive viewers, a child rapist. We can't deport him, even though we have a returns agreement with Albania. We also can't deport members of a Pakistani grooming gang, despite us giving Pakistan more than £1 billion in foreign aid since 2019. What soft power do we really have there when you look at that? There's even the bizarre case of a Nigerian individual who is a convicted sex offender and drug dealer. We couldn't deport him because it might have affected his health. He developed schizophrenia whilst in the country. We did offer to pay for his medication and continue to pay for his medication when he went home. But human rights laws, sometimes adjudicated by a foreign court, may I add, the European Court of Human Rights, saying that we can't do that and we are too weak to overrule them, despite France doing that routinely.
Patrick, it's incredible. I thought we were bad. You're just as bad, if not worse. Let's remember all this is happening under a Conservative government, or a pretend one, Patrick. Maybe that's why the latest polls show it's heading for the mother of all defeats in the election, probably late this year. Look at the electoral map that looks like changing. Labor is in red. As you can see, it's gone now double the number of seats, according to the polls, more than 400. Conservatives in blue face a wipeout, losing nearly 60% of their seats to be left with 155. Scottish nationalists, very woke, also about to lose 60% of their seats. Explain how bad the Conservatives are, because I think that's a warning to our own Liberal parties around the country.
Yeah, we used to have a game show over here called Total Wipeout. I'm not sure if you had the same, but I think you can imagine what it is, and it looks a lot like our next general election. Andrew, we do have a problem here with the Conservative government. You're right, you've hit the nail on the head. They don't want to conserve anything, and that tends to be a problem. We've got record levels of net migration and illegal migration, but also cultural problems. You know, they talk a good game when it comes to being anti-woke, and yet I unearthed on my show just earlier this week that the taxpayer has been funding not millions, but billions of pounds for academic studies into things like the Europe that gay porn built, or decolonising literature from Spain. I mean, it's absolutely remarkable that they've been doing this. To put it into context, it's so bad for the Conservatives that they're about to be wiped out by a Labour government that is refusing to tell us what any of their real policies are. and the Liberal Democrats, the leader of whom might as well have gone missing. If this was old school America, his face would be on the side of milk cartons, because nobody has seen this guy
Patrick,
for however
what a
long.
nightmare.
So people are basically just voting for anything other than the Tories. Yes.
We've been there, Patrick. Patrick Christys, thank you so much for your time.